Hello and welcome to this edition of the Dean's Video Newsletter. We have two things that we'd like to talk about today. One is to have a discussion about distributed medical education networks. This is something that we are heavily involved in here at the Schulich School. It's important to our community, to our region, and critically important to how our next generation of physicians are being trained. And I think it's a good idea that we spend a bit of time understanding what really is happening there and where this has come from. The second is to talk about a few key events that are going to be occurring over the course of this year. Many of you may be aware, but many are not, that this is the 25th anniversary of the founding of the Robarts Research Institute. Also, it is the 130th year since the signing of the charter of the medical school. We're going to be celebrating both of those, and we're going to be doing them under several different venues. We're going to make a change around the timing of our homecoming celebrations. Many of you who have participated in this come to London. We love to see you. We love to see you celebrating the school. But we also want to try now and generate a much closer feeling of this being a school and a faculty altogether. So on the Friday evening, that would be September the 30th, we're going to be holding a gala event at the London Convention Centre. This will be a formal event which will celebrate our 130 years as a medical school. It'll be a celebration of our history. It'll be an opportunity to meet with your colleagues and to do so in a venue that's really quite pleasing. There'll be a dinner, there'll be a dance afterwards. And what we're really hoping is that this will become an annual event and part of the homecoming for the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry. On the 21st of November, we will be celebrating the Taylor Prize. This is a prize that recognizes excellence in research and has been awarded over the course of the 25 years of the existence of the Robarts Research Institute, and is always a phenomenal event. The afternoon is set aside for presentations, including that of the award winner. This year, the award winner will be focusing on stem cell research, something that's incredibly topical, that we're all thinking about in terms of how do we regenerate new tissues, how do we deal with damaged tissues, how do we use cells from an individual to recreate organs so that you don't need to worry about autoimmune processes. Absolutely critical for us. That evening will be a celebration of our science. This is a dinner that is held here in London. It's been extremely well attended. For those of you who came last year, we're treated to a fascinating talk by Bob McDonald from Quirks and Quarks, something we all enjoyed. We promise you a similar type venue this year for it. So set those two dates aside on your calendar as well. So that's the sort of business end of this as to what's happening in the near future. Now to turn our attention to the Distributed Medical Education Network. This is an incredibly important initiative that's been adopted by the province to move education into the communities where there's tremendous expertise. We have expertise amongst our community physicians of everything from what you might expect in terms of family practice through to many of our subspecialties, all of which are represented in this training program. This is not something that's absolutely unique to here in southwestern Ontario. This is a province-wide initiative. So each of the 6 medical schools is associated with a teaching continuum outside of the medical school itself. So for us in London, this incorporates a great deal of southwestern Ontario. And in fact, you may not be aware of just how broad our reach is. There are over 45 spots that are participating with preceptors, and preceptors are trainers within our programs. These are physicians who are giving of their time to help train our students. The students are both at the undergraduate level as well as at the graduate level. What that means is that we have medical students who are taking part of their training out into the community. This may be in Stratford, Strathroy, Goderich, it may be in Windsor or Leamington. They can be distributed across the entirety of the region. They will have one-on-one training. Sometimes they'll be one-on-3 with a preceptor. They'll have a chance to go into the operating rooms. They'll have a chance to see exactly what is going on in terms of general practice. Some of the intent here is to allow them to understand what it's like to be a community practitioner. And there's no mistake in the goals. It's to try and enhance the number of physicians that we have staying within southwestern Ontario and staying as practitioners, particularly at the family practice level for that. To us as a faculty, how is this absolutely important to us? Well, it means what's happening is that we're extending our reach outside of the confines of London itself. And it's not a reach that's meant to simply grab as much as we can, but it's a reach to say, this is southwestern Ontario. We are the medical school that looks after your care, and we're integrating it across the entirety of this region. As we move forward and start to develop the research mission of the school even more tightly, we will be looking to participation with this outreach program as part of the Distributed Medical Education Network for it. I've heard from many of you as physicians, how can I become involved? How can I be participating in research? How can I help with education curriculum? All of these things will become more clear as we move forward over the next several months with this. So it's a very complex system. It is really designed to move us as a medical school away from being centralized at one site to move into an entire region to provide our education. It's incredibly valuable to the province, but it's also incredibly valuable to the people of this province as well. It's the next generation of our practitioners. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a glimpse as to what distributed medical education is. Please go to the website, look up SWOMEN, that's SWOMEN, the Southwestern Ontario Medical Education Network. It's a tremendous network that ties all of this together, and it has a website. So please go and have a look at that. And finally, if you're a patient within the community, this is absolutely critical. This is a level of healthcare that you get to participate in. You're helping train the next generation of physicians. And for that, I am very appreciative. So thank you very much. Hopefully that's given you a little bit of insight, and I hope to see you in the fall at all of these wonderful venues that are coming forward to celebrate our school. So thank you, and we'll see you again in the near future.